How's the look?
Yeah, amazing, dude.
Oh wow.
Glamorous.
You got to get this.
I feel like Lara Croft. I got the short shorts and the big boots.
Yeah, you are one sexy.
It's my lucky underwear. Oh, buddy Tyler got me
They
these.
smell like his lucky underwear too. I can smell those.
You can't wash the luck off of them.
Yeah. All right, so we're back from Bonneville, and if you notice, the Wheeling Welshman's head is grown, and it has a red cap. So what the red cap means is you basically laid down a record over 200 miles an hour. You didn't go over 200 miles an hour. You laid a record over 200 miles an hour, which is even harder to do because, you know, going 200 miles an hour is a big jump, but setting a record up there is pretty badass, man.
Bit of fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We were trying to go live out there and do a bunch of other stuff for you guys, but unfortunately it was so darn hot that every one of our cameras, including GoPros, iPhones, Androids, everything overheated.
It is hard on technology. My phone is completely dead. I was on a paper map the whole way home. My shaver. I was looking all rugged for a while because my shaver died out.
What do you mean for a while?
For a while.
You look rugged all the time. So yeah, we unfortunately couldn't do a bunch of live stuff out there because, I mean, it hit 107 one day. It was just miserable. So it was pretty hot. Snow basically went to Sturgis and bailed out on you.
Snow had cool stuff to do, you know?
He had other priorities. So we're back at shop. Bikes disassembled behind me. Matty tore this thing apart the second and got in here because...
Rapidly becoming a big ball of rust. I mean, you can see
everything.
What that does to the place. It's all been hosed off, but it's... This is going to be down to the nuts and bolts. Every single nut and bolt in that battery pack's going to come out. The whole thing's going to get stripped down. It's going to be a couple of busy weeks. I've really stopped since we got back from Bonneville, but
yep.
So I'll get a chance to sit down, you know, one day.
Yeah, maybe. You got no kids.
The rest of the wicked, yeah.
You got nothing going on.
That's the game.
Rebuilding stuff. So yeah, we actually went out there with the Little Giant too. We pulled that out there for display. We actually gave it back to the Vescos because we are done with that car for now. For good. They're going to take it back over and put probably the original 4-cylinder back into it and run it again maybe next year. Your first day of your qualifying run, you had to stay under 175 miles an hour.
Yep.
Why?
That means that we are limited to 175 on the first pass. They want to see us run as close to, but not over 175 as possible. Just prove we can control the bike on that surface because we've not ridden that bike on that surface ever. So it's good. I think it lets us kind of build up to it. Stops us doing anything stupid on the first run, and then after that we'll do our long close qualification run, go from there.
All right, we're here, Bonneville, 2024, with your pin on there too.
Yeah, I'll give you one of those. You need one to get in. We're licensed up to 300 mile an hour El Mirage.
No, you are licensed still.
Yes. That doesn't matter for Bonneville. You still have to license up for Bonneville, so we had to stay under 175. So we did, what was it, 174.6 or something?
Yeah, I barely got into that one. Coming up. Coming down.
Mentally, emotionally, physically, shook up.
All right, let's go.
Matty.
Richard Nelson Dealey entry with Matthew Dealey riding.
Gotta stay under 175.
175. Because I want to make sure. I mean, he's got this, but they're being
Mile
cautious.
2, 173.121. 2 1/4, 163.
Good.
582.
Perfect. He got it in the first mile. He's good to go. Perfect run. Shakedown run complete. Matty's safe. All he has to do now is stop, pull over, we'll pick him up, charge the bike, and then he can go for his real run, which is supposed to be anywhere over 215, which he's got. This will be great. So once he did the qualifying run, that was epic. We pulled over, everything went beautifully. You didn't notice a smell though, didn't you?
That was after the qualifying pass.
Yeah, you smelled something, what, burnt rubber?
Yeah, so this is, if any of you are going racing, like documentation, like the second you end your run, or if you have a mic on during your run, you want to be calling out anything that crosses your mind. There's so much going on. By the time we actually got on the return road and got something figured out to record, it slipped my mind that, yeah, about the 1 mile, there's this like rubber burning smell. And then, the excitement of going through the bike, I had the bearings off, but I hadn't looked inside of them, and we had that much rubber that had shaved off the tire sitting up inside the fairing. Because the heat has softened the bearings, the big flat sails on the back of the thing sucked in onto the tire, so we were almost rubbing all the way to the outside of the fairing. We were losing rubber off the tire, which I realized at 6:30 in the morning the next morning. So you can see in here where the tire is almost cut through. It's actually blistering the paint on the outside, and it's taken a good chunk of rubber off as well. There was a big, hedgehog of rubber right here. So obviously that's something we got to resolve, because we're running probably twice as far on the next run, and we're running hopefully 40 or 50 mile an hour faster. So it's pretty crucial. So hopefully put a bit of a bow in it to give it a bit of, preload. And obviously you can see that side's a lot stiffer than it was. That's a good amount of force to push it in. This side is just, you can see it, nothing to it, right? Obviously it's got to go on the outside because there's no space on the inside. There's a wheel in the way.
Yeah, and the thing is too, I mean, we ran an El Mirage a bunch of times without a problem because we
touched.
Yeah, but we weren't going 240. Things are a little bit different.
Oh, it was, that ball of rubber was at 175.
Oh, really? Yeah. So,
Yeah,
different heat, different substrates, different air temperatures. It changes. It's a dynamic sport. So,
what was the fix for that?
yeah, you use Chevy parts for that?
Yeah, you'll showed up to me cutting some strips of metal out of my van.
I actually cut a piece out of it too. You're like, hey, I need another one. So I was back there.
Bart, let's go. Let's 10 and 2. We gotta go.
Yeah, so he was working on this bike with one strip, and we were removing metal from the back door of your van.
It's behind a trim panel. You can't tell.
You can't tell.
It's made the van lighter. So there you go.
This guy.
To give it some strength.
Right here. Because this is warping in.
Yeah.
And this was rubbing on, you can see the inside where the tire was rubbing on your back.
So a bit of JB Weld, bit of safety wire, a bit of high speed tape, and good to go.
Yeah, well,
Still did it again the next time, but not as bad.
in typical Bonneville fashion, you're out in the middle of the desert in extreme heat with no stores or anything around you. You just got to kind of make do with what you brought on the salt. There's really not much you can do.
It's becoming a bit of a theme. I stole a bit of my rental van last time too.
But anyway, we did have some help with the JV Weld.
Oh yeah. Oh, everyone there. The Vescos, the other turbine car team next to us, everybody was, hey, you guys got a problem? What do you need? So everyone was just fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's a very big support team out there, and if you just announce that you need help, people come in like
Out of the woodwork.
ants to honey. There's everywhere. Now you're allowed to run again. You did your qualifying run at 230. I was 237, right?
236 point something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, almost 237 miles an hour. We're guessing your exit speed was probably closer to 240.
By the numbers, it should have been over 240, but
Yeah.
that's an irrelevant number.
Yeah.
The number you run is the number you run.
Yeah, but you're going almost 240 miles an hour. That is cooking out there.
Oh, yeah.
There's wind. There's a lot of different things that start bothering you at those types of speeds.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Fast.
Did you hear what it was?
No,
You didn't?
I know it'll be in 230 something.
Around 236 is what I heard. Yee-hee-hee. Good job, buddy. How'd it feel?
Good. It was good.
Was it scary? Anything bumpy, windy?
It wasn't scary.
But like windy, like did you feel the wind?
It was gusty.
Okay.
Like buffeting, not like there was a couple of moments where it kind of pushed it a little bit. It wasn't like push like across the course. The wind was fine. There was a bit of a rubber burning smell around up to the 1 mile, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got a hole in the fairing.
Okay, we'll check that out.
No, we were from the 1 1/4 mile up. We were at 110% throttle, like full. We can get on it earlier though. I was still barely, but I was still climbing up into the 2. I was at as much power as I was comfortable with, past the 1 1/4. We can get on it earlier.
Okay, what mile marker do you think you got into the 2s?
What's that?
What mile marker do you think you got into the 2s?
1.5. I'd
Okay.
say. And it was still ticking up, so we can get on it. I was worried about going up to speed and then like nosing over, like running out of juice. But we were still accelerating out of the 3 mile, I think.
Nice.
That's my boy! Right there, 236, brother!
Yeah. Let's get this fucker back to impound.
Let's get her back to impound. Run it back.
We got further to drive now. Well, I keep wiping my eyes. Everything's covered in salt. My eyes like streaming.
Yeah, I'm not looking too good either.
You're well seasoned.
You know, we did spend a lot of time in line this year. There was a ton of time that, I mean, the lines are very long. It's very hot.
I didn't think it was that bad. We only showed up at line. Well, we spent maybe 3 or 4 hours the first day.
Which, if anybody has been to Disneyland, this was way worse.
Yeah, but the rides are way better.
Your ride was way better. We got to watch. So we did have a long wait, and that's typical too. If you're not running over 300 miles an hour, you get in line with everybody else. The 300 mile an hour line is pretty short because there's very little people that go that fast. So you need to step up your game.
We'll try. We're in the 200 mile an hour line at El Mirage.
Okay, so that's even better. That helps us out there. However, you know, we do have to do a return run. So you did a qualifying run. You did your test run, your qualifying run, and then you have to now go back and rerun everything again. So
The next day.
when you did your first qualifying run at 300 and 37 point whatever, the wind was
300.
I'm sorry, 200.
236.019.
36.09. There you go. We did have a little tiny bit of a crosswind component that we're a little bit.
We were fortunate that we got all the record return runs the first people to run, and they had to run in a decent crosswind. By the time we got to run, it had dropped maybe 2 mile an hour, like a quartering headwind. So we're like, yeah, I'll take a 2 mile an hour headwind over a crosswind. So we ran in that. And it was great.
So after spending a whole day waiting in line because we had to fix the fairing, we didn't get in line until what, like 1:30, 2 o'clock?
Yeah, about that.
And then we waited all day until about 5:30, and the official said, we're done. We're 3 cars back from the start line, ready to go. And he goes, sorry, not today. We're shutting the place down. So we had to wait in line, leave everything in line, and come back the next day, which you think we're going to be the third person. But no, everyone that had a record before us the day before, they get first priority. So we had to wait for like, what, 15, 20 people to go by?
Yeah. Good. Yeah, the wind came down.
Yeah, which is good. It helped us with the wind, and it kept you upright and not in a hospital. Because one guy did go down that morning.
He did. It sounds like he was up and about.
And then the next day you have to back it up. So what happens is they take the bike to impound. They keep it there. You have 4 hours to work on the vehicle. That means charging it. Any maintenance you need to do on the vehicle, it has to be done with that 4-hour window. After 4 hours, I mean, this guy walked up at 3 hours and 45 minutes and goes, you guys are getting close to the 4-hour mark, and we were literally bagging the thing up.
No, it's me. That was me going, turn 2, let's go. Oh, did he come over too?
There's an older official walking right up and said, you guys are approaching your 4-hour mark. You need a, hey, warning, because if you go over 4 hours of work on your bike, you get DQ'd.
Oh, yeah.
Disqualified instantly.
Pencil down.
Yep, pencil's down. Anyway, so it was too windy to run that day.
Yeah, this is a new rule they got at Bonneville. As of this year, or as of, I guess, last year, you can do a record return run the same day. You can choose to run it at 4 o'clock, but the wind was kind of not great, so we figure we've got more time in the morning. More record return runs are going in the morning. We can wait longer for a lull in the wind, so that's the decision we made.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Danny and I had to take off and go back home to our families and stuff, so we left you in the hands of
That's cool stuff to do, yeah. Sean Killian.
Sean
Thank
Killian.
you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
And his buddy's a lovely guy from Surrey who was helping the team with the Jensen. Yeah, like I said, people just come out of the woodwork. You put on a concerned face and people just rush in to help.
I think I made like half a phone call to get him someone for the next day because I knew I wouldn't be there. And within 10 minutes, I had my phone ringing off the hook. This guy will do it. And luckily, we are part of the San Diego Roadster Club, and we have a very tight-knit family there. So you know Sean, I know Sean. These guys are Bonneville legends, and they have a lot of time out there, so they know exactly what to do. So you're actually in better hands with them than with me. So, I'm not going to leave Matty out there stranded for too long. So the next day, you go out, and the wind picks up, and I'm concerned. But Sean's on the phone with me at this point, going, dude, there's a 10-mile-an-hour crosswind component, and we do not run the bike with an over 5-mile-an-hour crosswind component. Luckily, it wasn't
I think it was a sail.
gusty. So I was out
for our run. So we were sitting on the line. I think we were 4 or 5 back from the line, and wind check 10 mile an hour going heart sinks. Because if you don't run, you have to requalify, and then you have to do a return run. It could rain. The weather's so unpredictable there, or the wind could never die down. That could be it. You run your qualifying run, you might not get to back it up. So your heart sinks. Oh man. Send a few people by, you call off to the side and let people go by. What's crosswind? 7 mile an hour. Okay.
better 10.
What is it now? 9. You're like, So we were fortunate there was a course hold right before our run, and it dropped to 7. And I went, can I get another wind check? They're like, that's the wind check. It's 7. You can run it or you can forfeit the run. So you kind of heart sinks, like, man, all these people came out to help me, and I'm going to have to do the whole thing all over again, like from scratch. So thought, we're here, we're on the line, we'll take off, we'll make a pass. As soon as the bike steps out of line, or as soon as it doesn't feel like it wants to go in a straight line anymore, we'll shut it down and pull off. So I took off, and that crosswind you expected to kick in about the 1.5 mile, just the geography of the place. So at about the 1.5 mile, it starts to lean into the wind. We're doing 160, 170, and it's leaning, and I'm leaning off the other way, and shoulders, you can't lean any further off than that because you're in the wind. And the bike just kind of kept staying in a straight line. Okay, keep winding the throttle on, expecting it to start pushing across the course or getting gusty or something. And it just never did. The bike felt stable the whole way down the track. Floaty, but staying in a straight line, you can still put it where you want it. So we just kept going. Never hit the throttle stop, never got it flat out in that pass. So we were 20 mile an hour slower. But 218, that was still enough for the record, so stoked.
Yeah, you averaged out 227. The original record was 215. So you stepped that one up quite a bit. During all this commotion and chaos, we realized that we were the fastest bike on the actual salt for the whole week, and that is saying a lot.
Yeah, I didn't even believe. Jim's like, hey, the fastest bike on the salt. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I think conditions and circumstances just played into our hand. We got to. I don't know if that wind ever really died down, so I think a lot of the people with the fully fed bikes are struggling with it. We're a cannonball. We weigh so much that it's a sail. Like, that wind will lean it right over, but it takes a lot to move it from a straight line. So I think conditions and circumstances really, really favored us this week.
So there's 2 big trophies they give out in Bonneville. One of them is for the fastest car, and one of them is
the Hot Rod Trophy.
Yeah, and then the other one's called the Hudson Wheeler Memorial Trophy, and it's for the fastest bike, basically, motorcycle. So you got that, which is the first EV to ever do that, and the fact that you got that your first big run down there is absolutely amazing. So congratulations on that. You're forever now in the museum and all the other good stuff. A lot of good friends out there. I'd love to thank everybody. Just the list is too long, but people like Jim Hoogerhide, helped us out. Amazing. Of course, the Vescos. You guys have been instrumental in everything we do. We wouldn't have this bike sitting behind us if it wasn't for you guys.
Kent as well and Randy for building such a freaking stable bike.
Oh, I know.
In the first place. I can't believe how straight that thing.
9 days, Kent and Randy's been listening. So thank you very much, Kent. Randy, you guys are amazing people to work with. Gary Hooker dropped it in too. We love you, Gary, who was actually just in here this morning. Good friend of ours. Congratulations to Ohio State on your guys' record on the naked bike.
They were running electric too.
Yeah, so Ohio State, bravo to you guys. And overall, great representation of all the EVs out in the salt. And, now a lot of people are starting to turn their heads for, what we're doing. And we got so many people coming up to me, especially going, you guys just keep running so consistently and just hitting records. And Jim got a record in the 666 car, 307.
First in his class to over 300.
And over 300. So, all these firsts, and they were all EVs.
This is all the kind of kind of hot rod, kind of knuckle drag,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So once we start seeing the big names pay attention, I think we're going to see these records just start tumbling.
Cool. Well, dude, we got more coming for you guys. Great trip to Bonneville. Like, subscribe to our channel. Don't like us, that's fine. Comment down below. Talk your whatever you do. We love to hear it all. It's fun. We'll catch you guys next time. We got some updates inside here. We're back here. We're working, and we're going to get things rolling. See you guys soon.
Oh, you want this one?
You gotta sign at the Wheeling Welshman.
You guys got a big back.
Nice job.
Let me see, bud. Oh, what? That's awesome, man.